My much esteemed, my dear audience, my dear eminent jury, kjære publikum, kjære jury. I do have to say I'm almost dying of excitement to welcome you all here today at this prominent culture center in our city. Grünerløkka, Bibliotek, Deichmanske. If you have a look around you now, you will see the most progressive players in our community. Please take a moment. And why is that? Why are we all here today? Well, that is because today we are celebrating the announcement of the sole birth idea, altså selve støpeskjeen, of our new culture center. And this is not just any center. This is the Museum of Utopian Clothes, with a direct projection into the future. Because yes, and yes again, the future is here, with all its luminescent haziness. And it's also not by coincidence that this specific time is selected. We are also gathered here today in the context that our country's oil reserves are soon about to run out. And perhaps even before this will happen, our super-friendly, environmentally friendly oil might be found as a scam. This is less likely though, but we still should be prepared. And what should we do then? Well, we Norwegians are never short on good ideas. Det er typisk norsk å være god. It's typically Norwegian to be good. And this time, it was Linda, the head of the board of the new National Museum, that so elegantly said it. Art is the new oil. Let's taste this together. Art is the new oil. Money, money, money must be funny in the rich man's world.
Smile.
All the things I could do. Well, you get my point. It's a very timely event. And it has been a massive interest from our new generation for this culture center. It has been so huge that we had to come up with a sort of game structure to meet the demand. And this is what we're doing here today. We have come up with a game structure that will allow us to democratically select items, utopian clothes, that will be showcased in our museum at the end. The clothes that will not maybe be selected this time, it does not mean that they're not good enough. It just means that maybe they will need to experience our society, articulate its value a little bit more precisely, and also grow the necessary layers in order to settle in the museum in the end as exhibits. I will invite you now to step in to the territory of the game. And you will need these. Red dress and a white dress to cast your votes. But please enter the game with an open mind and a warm heart. And before the first proposition will enter the stage, I will introduce you to our eminent jury.
My name is Christian Bermudez, and I was invited because I work in a library with youth people, so I'm an expert on youth.
Fantastic.
I'm from Costa Rica, by the way.
Great, thank you.
My name is Apollonia Šuštasić. I'm an expert on, well, many things, but I just realized, moving to Oslo, I'm very fresh here, that I'm actually a collector, because I brought with me so much stuff that I don't know where to put it.
Fantastic. Maybe you can put it here.
My name is Fadlavi. I'm from Africa. I'm an artist and an expert, I guess.
Fantastic. And how old are you?
I'm old enough. Actually.
Great. You're old enough to be the jury. Perfect. Okay, let us move over to this end. Who do we have here?
My name is Lisa Passini. I'm an artist, and I guess I'm an expert at staying alive because I'm 60.
Fantastic.
Hello, my name is Ine Therese Berg. I am PhD candidate at Høgskolen in Oslo, and I'm a theatre critic, so my topic of expertise is performance and theatre.
My name is Laura Kosner, and I'm only 13, so I don't really know what my expertise is yet.
This is great. Now, my dear audience, you will see you are in very good hands. But also, it is important to say that your vote, my dear audience, is equally important to the jury. Because today we practice direct democracy and full transparency. I am extremely excited that we are now ready to bring in our first proposal for the Museum of Utopian Clothes. So Shante Chassé, plastic kimono with flowery ornaments.
People are just used to the idea that the only thing you should share is shit. Look at Breivik, for example. I think they should have put him not in jail, but in a hospital. He's just sick in the head, and how could a healthy human being do such a thing? I'm sure his parents constantly shouted at each other, and maybe they even beat him. And maybe her mother spat on him every day and forced him to eat his turds and drink a glass of his drunken father's urine every day.
Well, what can I say? What a story to learn from. And I just had a vision. I think that we in Norway lack holidays. I mean, we have summer holiday, we have Christmas holiday, we have autumn, we have Easter, we have... But what we don't have, it's a proper teenage holiday, like a teenage fest or something. Don't you agree? And on this day, on the Teenage Fest Day, we will open our new cultural center, the Utopian Museum. What do you think? You can applaud. Thank you. So, your dresses. The red one stands for yes. It means pro. It means going into the museum. The white one, that's a no. No museum. Okay? Vote! Okay, that's actually a little bit difficult to see in the spotlight. Let me see. Can everybody with white, meaning no, hold there? Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, great. That's 14, 15. Can everybody that voted yes? I can happily say that this beautiful item is going into the museum. So let's find out why. Maybe Lisa, do you want to say why you voted yes?
Well, I voted yes because I thought that while she was speaking, it started off very negatively, and then there came the juxtaposition between the material of the dress and her story. I thought was interesting. The fact that I didn't see it until I actually saw the dress, that it was made out of oilcloth, which means that nothing sticks to it. So, you know, I have a feeling since she's a youth and forming her ideas that material, you know, this beautiful oilcloth compared to her talk. So that's why I thought it should go into the museum.
Very interesting. Excellent. Excellent choice.
Recently, I got a bit of an insight. I understood that the most important thing is to learn to stereotype or delayer. If you learn to delayer, you get the skill of being strong. I think so. Because after he published my private SMS publicly on Facebook, it's the only thing I can think about. Next year, I think when I get to be 18, I will study programming and police work at the same time. I'm thinking now how to make the possible to put such guys as him behind the bars. Like you said, no to him. And he's like fucking posting your private message publicly. The motherfucker.
And those with red, just put down your hand. White. It's an equal draw. Then we have to do it again. Can we have the drums back? Should it go into the museum, or should it stay out of the museum?
I do have a lot of clothes from my parents from Ukraine, but they are low on quality. I really like slim clothing, pants and long. I think with Ukrainian music, it's not really for me. I like music to be a bit different, but none of it is like that on my Spotify. Bryson Tiller, The Weeknd, French, Still Fresh, Wiz Khalifa. I like rap people.
Why they call me that I do not know, for my name was Eliza Day. From the first day I saw her, I knew she was the one, as she stared in my eyes and smiled. Her lips were the color of the roses. They grew down the river all bloody and wild. What do we have? Amongst the experts, it is 1, 2, 3, 4. It's going into the museum. Now let's see from our audience. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. My, oh my, may I congratulate you all. It looks like the military dress with a head like a rose is also going into the museum. Can I have a comment from the jury? Why did it go into the museum?
Yeah, this reminds me of something that's very. Somebody said that if you want to say something smart about war, something personal. I mean, we all believe in peace and we all like against war. But if you say like peace is good and war is bad, that's not so personal. It's not artistic. If you want to talk about war in an artistic way, you can, for example, say, what did the soldiers put step on in the way to Capoeira, for example, or to the Nuba Mountains? And if it's a white rose, I think that's a very artistic, nice picture to talk about something very, very general. That's why I like the dress very much.
Interesting, very interesting, Fadlami.
But this is a commodification of young people's fears. It's really just commodifying young people. Like, we're not going to get at young people's fears by doing this.
Does young people's fears differ from your fears?
Young people's fears scare you. They scare us. They scare grown-ups. That's why we do this thing. We commodify it and we dress it up.
That's interesting.
That's interesting. You talk in the name of grown-ups as if you are like
I'm a grown-up.
Like who voted you to talk in my name? I have the same fear as a young person's fear. I don't see fear to be like you discriminate fear.
You forgot.
Interesting, very interesting. Both comments from the jury and from the audience. And since I forgot to have a comment from the jury and the audience for the last item, why don't we have another jury's opinion? Ina.
I voted against it because even though it's
interesting.
an interesting juxtaposition, like you mentioned, I feel that this is a very kind of current statement. Although we will surely have wars in the future, I think it's for a utopian museum. It needs to point to the future, and I don't think the story behind or this story did so.
It did not point to the future.
No.
Mm-hmm.
Recently, I fell in love with Emma. And well, when we told our parents, they were really disappointed in us. And of course, that's a huge grief to us. And maybe that's why I've decided to become a psychoanalyst, because I'm afraid of becoming insane myself.
Bring in the costume. Get ready to vote. Where are the drums? Now that is a very obvious take. The black cat is going into the Museum of the Utopian Clothes. Round of applause, everybody. Would you like to say why you voted yes?
I voted yes because this one made me feel a little bit uncomfortable, and I believe that if you want to change something, you can't make it by like making everyone have fun and like try to get out a message. I think that you have to like kind of give a point, and if that point is uncomfortable, it's maybe good to get it out there. You have to talk about it.
Interesting. Really interesting.
So when in November, I started going to the psychiatrist, and he wrote all kinds of papers and everything I needed to the school. And they were still like, no, it doesn't work. You'll have to write a diary. And it was kind of like writing a diary of my 3 months of depression. It sounds kind of weird, but yeah, today I slept the whole day. Next day, the same. The school system in Norway is really fucked up some places. It's like if you miss 2 gym classes, you can't get your exam. It's very good for statistics, and the grown-ups are like, wow, this role works so great because the statistics of the grades and such are soaring upward. But everyone like me that has some absences, they are just dropping out.
There may be some, but not like you. Will be understood, cause you're the truth. Give me a few more of the blue. open so I can see if there's a raindrop falling away. And if your words get suddenly blurred, you remember that the truth is always worth seeing. You're like a firebird in the sky, shining for a challenger in the night. Just like a firebird is your heart, keeps me warm and anchoring than the stars.
Thank you, Marfa. Yeah. Do you know that in Norway it will be the first country where all cars will be electric within 2025? Now, coming back to our new oil, imagine the possibilities. We can transport our new oil to all the countries in the world with these electric cars. Exactly, exactly.
Smile.
Let's bring in our item. Fantastic! I am so curious to hear now what the jury will have to say about this item. Why should it go into the museum? Ammonia.
Well, I think it's really interesting sort of reflection on mysticism, animism, religion, and a kind of form of male Feraja or Hajib, if you want. So I think, yes, museum needs a kind of, let's say, futuristic perspective on the subjects that these people are now living in.
Interesting, interesting, yes, they do. A nice trajectory also. Can you comment a little bit further on what you said about the male?
To cover your body with a kind of shiny green textile from, I would imagine, the Lord of the Rings or something, and then
interesting.
Artificial fur creating, symbolizing your look, furry look. I think is quite amazing. Yes.
Great. That's really great. Fantastic. I am so excited to hear now what our dear audience have to say.
Well, I think we're moving away from, what's your name, the young jury member? What was your name again?
Laura?
Yeah, see, the point that she was trying to make, which basically was the uncomfortableness she was talking about, comes from the kind of honesty that is about those things that nobody dares to talk about.
Interesting.
Those things.
That's interesting.
So this is what everybody's trying to do, but really she was the only one who touched on it.
How do you feel about that, Nora? Right? Yeah?
Yeah, I don't know what to say.
That's okay. Do you, but Lars, why did you vote yes for this item going into the museum?
No, I voted no.
Oh, interesting. Even more interesting. Why is that?
Well, because it's deviating from the agenda.
Which agenda?
The agenda to really get at the bottom of what the fears are, which fears are hiding in the thing that we're afraid of. We're afraid of what the fears are that are around us. We don't really know what they are, but we're trying to find them out. But we don't want to find them out, so we're trying to cover them up with something and make it look like we're looking for them, but we're not looking for them because we don't want to find them because we're afraid of them.
It's very interesting. Today we are touching upon deep psychology. It's the blue tent with little snaky flowers.
Today, I'm going to the shop and speaking with my friend from Syria. I'm going to the shop today and watching a movie, an old movie. So I could not sleep last night. It is Ramadan, and that is why. I believe in miracles. I like surprises. I just want my family. I don't want a war here as it was in Syria, killing unknown. I am afraid that there will be a war here also, like in Syria. I like children. I want to work with them. I studied at my school and then it was bombed. My friend cannot learn Norwegian, but when he gets a girl, he starts to talk Norwegian. I don't think that I am different either. If somebody's crazy, I am okay. No problem for me. If they are crazy, they are just crazy. Do it. I'm every day happy. I'm every day happy.
We're not your no in the sky jungle. We're all like animals. We're running on pure instinct. No, we ain't scared of nothing. In the sky jungle, we make our homes in city walls. You know we gotta run so wild to keep up with this lifestyle.
Enough of this.
What do you mean?
Art's not gonna resolve our problem. You want to make a change? Let's get out of here.
But we are not done with our show.
No, that's too much for now.
What?
Spektakel! Vi må gå ut til det offentlige.
But I'm not done yet.
I'm sorry it's too late.
What do you mean it's too late? I still have 2 more songs. We have 1 more. I have to say this. If post our event, new flowers or community introduction. Don't go. Stay here. Come on, it's not done. It's my show, not yours.
I'm quitting. Not your show anymore.
I'm telling you, if all of you leave, there will be repercussions. You're not leaving. You're not leaving. Maybe if there's guards can stop this woman leaving, caretaker something. What is this? Altså, vi snakket jo om det her jo bare helt true. I have much left to say. I have also my last song. The Ja, vi elsker this part. What do you mean?
Smile.
I can't smile. No, this is too serious.
Smile. Smile.
This is ridiculous. I did not sign up for this thing.
It's not a smile.
waking up to ash and dust. I wipe my brow and my sweat, my rust, breathing in the chemicals. I'm breaking in, shaping up, I'm checking out of the prison bus. This is it, the apocalypse. Whoa, I'm waking up, I feel it in my bones, enough to make my system blow. Welcome to the new age, to the new age. Welcome to the new age, to the new age. Oh, 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 oh. I'm radioactive, radioactive. Oh, 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 oh. I'm radioactive, radioactive. I raise my flags, down my clothes. It's a revolution, I suppose. We painted red to fit right in. Whoa. Breaking up, shaping up, and checking out of the prison bus. This is it, the apocalypse. Whoa, I'm waking up, I feel it in my bones, enough to make my system blow. Welcome to the new age, to the new age. Welcome to the new age, to the new age. Oh, 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 I'm radioactive, radioactive. Oh, 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 I'm radioactive, radioactive.
Welcome to the Museum of Utopian Clothes.
You are listening to the song for young parents.
But it would remind us of when nothing really mattered. Out of student loans and treehouse homes, we all would take the ladder. My name's blurry face and I care what you think.
It'll be not so loud, actually.
relax. Look at the stones on the riverbed. I can tell from your eyes you've never been by the riverside. Down by the water, the riverbed, somebody calls you, somebody says, swim with the current and float away. Down by the river every day. Oh my God, I see how everything is stored in the river deep. And I don't know why I go the way down by the riverside. When the low river inspires your eyes to wash off the dirt on the riverside, go to the water so very near, the river will be your eyes and ears. I walk to the borders on my own, to fall in the water just like a stone, chill through the merriment